Diane in Denmark here. I've been getting ready for a trip. I told you a couple of weeks back that I'm going to Edinburgh this weekend. I'm from Edinburgh, that's where my family is. I'm really looking forward to seeing my mum and my brother. Anyway, I'm going for my cousin. It's my cousin's 50th birthday. He's the same age as me. And I'm really looking forward to it, apart from the fact that he's having the party in the rival football club to the football club that we support. I won't name any names here, but it's like, we don't want to go over to the dark side and go into their football club. Anyway, it's all good fun. Now, I've been packing for my trip, or planning for my trip. I'm only going for a couple of days, so I don't want to put my case up here on the table. But I've got my small case, and the last couple of days I've been getting things together. I've got my passport and my British money. You'll have seen me when I was doing a declutter down in the basement. I've got a little purse where I keep, British money, and then I've got euros if we're travelling in, when we're in Vienna or if we're going to Nice. And I've got a couple of presents, and there's not going to be much space for my clothes, but I don't need much. I'm staying with Mum. And Mum has, the hairdryer and all, the toiletries and stuff. So I've got gifts in here, and I've got extra stickers for putting on a present which is being delivered to my mum's house. You may have seen me going through doing a little declutter yesterday. Anyway, I thought today we could have a wee chat. Let me just pop this down so I don't want to put it on the kitchen worktop. I thought we'd have a wee chat today because a question that I get asked a lot is what to do with your Flylady routines when you are away from home. Either when you're away from home and you're wondering about, but what do you do about the zones, and you're not going to be there, and is the world coming to an end? So I thought I'd just give you a quick rundown with that today, because it's not holiday season for us, but we will soon be coming into holiday season, and hopefully the weather will improve. I mean, it's already spring for us, and we've had so much snow, but a lot of rain yesterday, so it's all going. Anyway, let me just move in a wee bit. So first of all, when you're planning for your holiday, hopefully you've got some kind of packing list. I use the Flylady's packing list. I'll put a link. And there was the main Flylady packing list, which tells you all the things that you can get ready before you go on a trip. And that can be if it's a trip for just a few days, or maybe you're going off for a month. And it's little things like, making sure that you have somebody to maybe come in and empty the post box, or feed the gerbils, make sure that you order currency, if you're going abroad. So all of those things, it's all in the Flylady's packing list. It's a really good list. Plus it has all the usual things like, remember if you're going for some kind of function, maybe you're going for a wedding and are traveling for a wedding, make sure you've got the whole outfit from, your little fancy hat and, your gloves and whatever else you need. Excuse me. So that is all on the Flylady's packing list. And I've been using that packing list for many years, and then you can just add on your own little extra notes and adjust it for every time you go. And it can, I've added things like when the kids were smaller, we would take a little tiny paddling pool that we could kind of inflate and have next to the caravan where we were, so the kids could splash about in the water. So you just adjust, my kids are too old for that now, but you keep that list running. It's a bit like having the holiday control journal for preparing for Christmas or whatever you celebrate. You have your packing control journal, and you just add to that over the years and adjust it, and we don't need to have so much of this, but we need more of that. So I will put a link to that, and that is a great start for your vacation or your holiday, that you're not kind of worrying about these things. Flylady has she's planned it all out for you. You've just got to look through the list and adjust it to suit you. Remember, you've got to adjust these things to suit you. It is one size fits all with the Flylady system, but you adjust it to suit you, your family, your circumstances. I've talked about this before. Don't worry too much about what I'm cleaning or the way that I'm cleaning, because, for example, with the screens thing, we don't have screens on our windows because we don't have flying insects here. You know, they would drown in all the rain or freeze to death with all the snow that we get. So everybody's different. You may be on the other side of the globe and think that it's strange that we have so many clothes, but in Denmark we have 4 very distinct seasons. Whereas you may have problems with insects coming into the house, we don't have problems with ants, so you know that's not an issue for us. So once again, adjust it to suit you and your family and your lifestyle. Now, so that kind of covers it with, you know, going away on holiday, and I have my little things that, you know, I love to declutter, and I keep, you know, if I find unmentionables, you know, underwear that isn't great any longer, I keep that in a bag for when I'm going on a trip, and then I take them and I wear them one last time, and then they can be tossed where I am on holiday and they're not coming back in my suitcase. I really like that. And it's the same with if we're going on a summer vacation, if we've got beach towels that are kind of past their best, I take those with us. You know, we use them to death at the beach, and then once we're finished our holiday, those just go into you know, recycling if I can find it there, or the trash. And that way I'm not bringing it back home with me, and then there's more space in your suitcase. And talking about suitcase and bringing things back, also when I'm traveling, I don't buy souvenirs of, you know, a t-shirt with the name of the place, or mugs, things like that. I normally pick up maybe, you know, some jewellery, you know, if they've got a little market where people are selling jewellery. Sometimes I might pick up a piece of jewellery, but what I normally do these days is pick up something like a tea towel. Now, if you've seen me on Instagram posting my picture every night of shiny sink with the Flylady doll, you will see that I've got tea towels from Paris, and I bought some new ones when I was in Vienna. So those are a really good souvenir for me, that it's, you know, I can use it and then I can get rid of it. You know, it's not, they're not kind of piling up. It's a clutter-free souvenir. So that's how I kind of pack for my trip. And you know, you can use all those if you're lucky enough to be in a place where you get little samples of perfume or makeup. That doesn't really happen here in Denmark, unfortunately. When I worked in Luxembourg and I was doing my shopping in France, they would be throwing samples at you. They don't do that in Denmark. But if you're like that, or maybe you've picked them up from your travels, use those little travel sizes, you know, get those used up. Anyway, what I did want to really focus on today was this idea of what to do about, for example, the zones and weekly home blessing when you are away. Now, listen up here. The whole point of the Flylady system is that because, you know, you've got your control journal, and you are hopefully, you know, because I've mentioned this before, hopefully you are cleaning and decluttering on a consistent basis. Because when you're doing it on a consistent basis, it doesn't matter if you skip a few days, it doesn't matter if you skip a week, it doesn't even matter if you skip a month. If you're going off for a trip for 4 weeks, don't worry about, oh, but I didn't get to zone 2 this month, or zone 3. The zones, they keep on coming back around. And if you have been using the system consistently, and I've talked about this all the time, we don't need to do a lot, but we do need to be consistent with it. If you're being consistent with it, it doesn't matter if you skip a day. I was talking about the swish and swipe on Monday when I was doing detailed clean in the bathroom, and I posted a little meme on Instagram about this thing about the bathroom horror, you know, of the old bad days when you would have to, you know, scrub the whole bathroom from top to bottom on a Saturday. Our bathroom isn't like that anymore, because I do a swish and swipe every day or every other day. And even Marla, Flylady, she doesn't swish and swipe all her bathrooms every day. So you've got to get that idea out of your head that you have to be doing the whole thing, you know, to the letter. But you do have to be doing the swish and swipe every day or every other day, because that cuts it down. And then of course you can go off on holiday, and when you come back you just jump in where we are in the system. So right now we are working on zone 3, which is the bathroom and one other room. If you go off on holiday for 2 weeks, you're going to come back and we'll be in zone 5 working in the living room and the living room. You don't need to go back and look at the missions which have already gone, because you know what, they will come round again. And hopefully you have made a control journal, and you can, and you saw, I showed you them on Monday. I've printed out the cleaning lists, and what you do is you just have a quick look down there and say, okay, I'll do that and that, but you don't need to do the whole thing all the time. Oh, hold on, sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm back. If you see some men walking behind with hard hats, they're digging in the garden now. They're digging downstairs. Anyway, yeah. So don't worry about the zone thing, because you will just catch up the next time. Now, what you might want to do when you come back from holiday, the main thing that you probably want to do is the weekly home blessing, because the weekly home blessing is just doing not a detailed clean, but just keeping things up to date. It's a basic clean of the main areas of your house. And if you do a weekly home blessing before you leave to go on holiday, there's not going to be much to come back to. Not if you're, if you've actually been keeping up with things before you leave. I mean, really, what can happen? You maybe have some dust, but apart from that, as I said, the world isn't coming to an end, and you'll just jump back in where you left off, do your weekly home blessing. You might want to do an extra 5 or 10 minutes the first couple of days you get home, but don't worry about it. That's the whole idea of the system, is that because we're being consistent with things, if things happen, like a family member is ill, it doesn't matter if you miss a week or two. It really doesn't. But the main thing is that you keep going with your routines. And I know it's silly, but I'm sure a lot of you are the same. When I am on holiday, I am on autopilot with my routines. So say we're in the south of France, I get out of bed in the morning, and I air the bed, when we get out of bed. And I go and have my shower, get my clothes on, and then come back and make the bed. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm just on automatic pilot, making the bed. If we're staying in some kind of holiday home or an apartment, I shine my sink at night, because I like to wake up the next morning and have it, like a hotel room in it. Who doesn't want that? It's really nice to wake up to that. And I can't tell you the amount of times I have gone through the airport or wherever we're traveling, and I go and use the bathroom, and then I'm doing my hands, and then I'll grab an extra paper towel and do the sink. And I'm sure a lot of you are like that, where we're just kind of swish and swipe wherever we go. Once you're kind of really got the system ingrained into you, it's really hard not to do your routines. So keep going with your routines when you're on holiday, but obviously modified. I've talked about it before. I'll see if I can find a link and I'll put the link up there if I can find it, because I talked about sometimes when we go on holiday, on vacation, we kind of, okay, now we're going to let it all go. We're going to be in that sun lounger, but in reality, it doesn't quite work like that, because we haven't planned what we're doing, for lunch or dinner. And then suddenly the family are saying, well, where's the food, mum? Or, you're trying to get into a restaurant, everything's already booked. Or you get down to the beach and you can't find, where's the sun cream, and where's my magazine, and where are the towels? It's actually quite nice to kind of, plan, like planning your outfit for the next day. When you're on vacation, like, what are we going to do tomorrow? What do you want to do? And I'm not saying, it's got to be written down and, okay, team, right, we're doing this next. But just have an idea of what you want to do, so that the day doesn't just get away from you, and you can actually enjoy your holiday and, have everything that you need at the beach without having to go back to the hotel because you've forgotten something. So, you know, as usual, there's always a middle way here where we're not planning everything down to the smallest detail, but a little planning means that, you know, you can say, oh, well, tomorrow let's have a packed lunch and take that to the beach, and then in the evening we'll go out for dinner. Oh, let's book ahead so we make sure we can get a table, you know, if there's 8 of you travelling because you've got Granny and Grandad with you. So just think about those things. And was there anything else I was going to say? Yeah, so just make sure when you're coming back from vacation, the main thing is to get that suitcase emptied, because I've seen some of you on Instagram. I won't name names, but you've gone off for a cruise perhaps, and then 3 weeks later the suitcase is still there. As soon as you get home, you know, do yourself a favour and put on a load of laundry, and at least get that started, and then just ease back into your routines, and everybody will be happy. Right, I can see, let me see, 15 minutes and 53. Okay, I'm going to stop it here because I've got stuff to do. I'm going to finish getting my packing done for going to see Mum and going to the party. I'm not sure how much I can post. I'll probably put up a video of our 40-day challenge so you can keep going with that. But otherwise, I will see you next week I'll see you in the next couple of days. But anyway, that's it for me. And if you haven't already done it, do yourself a favour and make a control journal book. Oh, I know that's what I was going to say. If you go off on holiday, you know, if you go off on vacation and there are people in your house, you leave them a list of what you want done. I mean, you can leave them a list of, you know, you've got a list in here of what the weekly home blessing hour is. You know, get them to do it, because if there's somebody staying in your house, they can do a little bit of upkeep. You know, you can write down a couple of things that you want them to, I don't know, dust the bedroom and hoover the kids' rooms. You know, write it down and get them to do it. You know, if somebody else is staying in your house, they can look after the house when you're not there. Anyway, that's it for me today, Diane in Denmark, and as usual, live long and prosper. May the Danish hygge be with you, and I shall see you tomorrow for Thursday Errand Day. Oh yeah, today's anti-procrastination day, and I know what I have to do. My, my salt and pepper set. Well, this one, it doesn't zzz like this one any longer. You know, the ones that light up. So today's the day that I change the batteries on this one. Anyway, have a great day out there, and I shall see you very soon. Bye for now.